Pavements and bituminous materials. Well, in this lecture, a brief review of main types of pavement, different bituminous materials, and the properties of the asphalt will be discussed. So, pavement is defined as a road or highway with hard, smooth, and leveled surface made using a suitable material such as Portland cement, concrete, or asphalt concrete. So, here you can see the asphalt concrete pavement, that is the flexible pavement, and here you can see that Portland cement concrete pavement, that is the rigid pavement. Pavements are classified as flexible or rigid depending on how they distribute surface loads. Flexible pavements are those which are surfaced, that is paved with bituminous materials such as asphalt concrete. Asphalt concrete possesses a lower stiffness than Portland cement concrete due to lower modulus of elasticity of asphalt concrete as compared to Portland cement concrete. Due to lower stiffness of asphalt concrete, the total structure of a flexible pavement bends or deflects under traffic loads. This is the logic behind calling such a pavement as flexible pavement. Flexible pavements distribute the wheel load over a cone-shaped area under the wheel, as you can see in the figure, reducing the imposed unit stresses as depth increases as shown below. So you can see in this diagram, this is the wheel load and this is the pattern of distribution of load. So load distribution under a flexible pavement, and you can see that stress at lower depth is higher than the stress at higher depth. Flexible pavements comprise about 93% of US paved roads. As far as rigid pavements are concerned, rigid pavements are those which are surfaced, that is paved with Portland cement concrete. Portland cement concrete possesses a substantially higher stiffness than asphalt concrete due to higher modulus of elasticity of Portland cement concrete as compared to asphalt concrete. Due to high stiffness of Portland cement concrete, the total structure of a rigid pavement bends or deflects very little under traffic loads. This is the logic behind calling such a pavement as rigid pavement. Rigid pavements act as flexural members and distribute the wheel load fairly uniformly over the area under the pavement slab as shown in the figure. So look at this. So you can see that the load distribution under a rigid pavement. Rigid pavements comprise only 7% of US paved roads. Elements of flexible pavement. A flexible pavement consists of 4 elements: subgrade, prepared roadbed consisting of natural or imported soil; subbase course, a layer between the subgrade and the base course made from materials superior to that of subgrade. In case of a good quality of subgrade, the subbase course is omitted. Base course, this is the layer directly below the asphalt concrete layer and generally consists of aggregate, either stabilized or unstabilized. Surface course, this is the top layer and the layer that comes in contact with traffic. It may be composed of one or several different asphalt concrete sublayers. As far as the pavement structure is concerned, it is consisted of subbase plus base plus surface course. The above four elements of flexible pavements are shown below. So you can see that this is the subgrade. Above the subgrade, subbase course is there, then the base course, and above that you can see that this is the surfacing. And we are having the two layers of asphalt concrete in the surfacing. This is the intermediate or binder course, and this one is the wearing course. And in between the intermediate course and the wearing course, we are having the tack coat. This one is the tack coat. And just above the base course, we are having the prime coat. So in fact, the prime coat is present between the base course and intermediate course. Now here you can see the elements of rigid pavement. Rigid pavement consists of maximum 4 elements as follows. Subgrade, prepared roadbed consisting of natural or imported soil. Subbase course, this is the layer or layers under the base layer. A subbase is not always needed and therefore may often be omitted. Base course, this is the layer directly below the Portland cement concrete layer and generally consists of aggregate or stabilized subgrade. Surface course, this is the top layer and the layer that comes in contact with traffic. It consists of the Portland cement concrete slab. The above four elements of rigid pavement are shown in the figure over here. You can see that this is the concrete slab and these are the different components, other components of the rigid pavement. Bituminous materials. Bituminous material or bitumen is a solid, semi-solid or viscous cementitious material that is binder, natural or manufactured and composed of hydrocarbons. Bitumens are usually fairly hard at normal temperatures. When heated, they soften and flow. Bitumens possess a number of properties that make them useful in construction industry. When mixed with aggregates in their hot fluid state and then allowed to cool, they solidify and bind the aggregates together, forming a pavement surface. The most common bituminous materials are as follows. Asphalts available as natural deposits or are produced from petroleum processing. Tars obtained through the destructive distillation of materials such as wood, coal and shale, that is by heating wood or coal or shale in absence of air. Pitches obtained through further processing of tars. On this slide you can see the classification of the bituminous materials. So bitumens, asphalts, tars and pitches, and the asphalts are subdivided into natural deposits and the petroleum asphalts. And the natural deposits, we are having the categories like native asphalts and the rock asphalts. And as far as the petroleum asphalts are concerned, we are having asphalt cement, solid or semi-solid, cut-pack asphalt, and that is the liquid state, emulsified asphalt, again the liquid state, and the blown asphalt, semi-solid. And if you just look at the cut-pack asphalts, further categories, slow curing cut-pack, medium curing cut-pack, and rapid curing cut-pack. Asphalts. Asphalts are the most common and most widely used bituminous materials. The term asphalt refers to a black cementitious material which varies widely in consistency from solid to semi-solid at normal temperatures. Asphalts are found as natural deposits or are produced from petroleum crude. The classification of asphalts is already presented in the previous slide. Natural rock asphalts are rock deposits containing bituminous materials which have been used for road surfaces in localities where they occur. Native asphalts are obtained from asphalt lakes in Trinidad and other Caribbean areas. These were used in some of the earliest pavements in North America. Petroleum asphalts are products of the distillation of crude oil. These asphalts are used as the most common bituminous paving materials. So petroleum asphalts. So you can see that petroleum asphalts are produced from the residual matter, that is impurities present in the crude oil. Higher grade crude oil, that is crude oil with less residual matter, may contain as little as 10% asphalt, whereas lower grade crude oil, that is crude oil with more residual matter, may contain as much as 90% asphalt. A flow chart that you can see over here showing production of different types of asphalt is shown in the adjoining figure. So look at that. Types of petroleum asphalts. Following types of petroleum asphalts are used in pavement construction: asphalt cement, emulsified asphalt, liquid or cut pack asphalt. Asphalt cement. Asphalt cement, also called paving asphalt, are the primary asphalt products produced by the distillation of crude oil. At ambient temperatures, asphalt cement is a black, sticky, semi-solid and a highly viscous material. It is strong and durable cement with excellent adhesive and waterproofing characteristics. It is also highly resistant to the action of most acids, alkalis and salts. The largest use of asphalt cement is in the production of asphalt concrete, which is primarily used in the construction of flexible pavements throughout the world. The asphalt cement can readily be liquefied by applying heat for mixing with mineral aggregates to produce asphalt concrete. Several standard grades of asphalt cement based on consistency are available commercially. Two methods, viscosity and penetration, are generally used to classify asphalt cements into different grades as follows. The viscosity grades, based on original asphalt cements AC, as specified in ASTM D3381, are AC5, AC10, AC20, AC30 and AC40. The numerical value indicate viscosity at 140 degree Fahrenheit or 60 degree centigrade in hundreds of poise. The penetration grades as specified in ASTM D946 are 200 to 300, 120 to 150, 8500, 60, 70, 40 to 50. Higher the penetration, the softer the asphalt cement. Therefore, 40-50 is the hardest grade and 200-300 is the softest grade. So this table is showing the requirements for asphalt cement for use in pavement construction, and you can see that different bitumens of different penetration grades are mentioned, and the minimum and the maximum values are mentioned corresponding to the penetration value, flash point, ductility, solubility in trichloroethylene, retained penetration after thin film oven test, and the ductility at 25 degrees Celsius. Emulsified asphalt. Emulsified asphalt, also simply called emulsion, is a mixture of asphalt, cement, water and emulsifying agent. Because the asphalt cement will not dissolve in water, asphalt cement and water exist in separate phases as shown in the following figure. So look at this one. So you can see asphalt cement in form of perfect spheres, and you can see the water containing emulsifying agent. To mix the asphalt cement with water and emulsifying agent, usually a type of soap is added. Process of manufacture of emulsified asphalt consists passing the hot asphalt cement and water containing the emulsifying agent under pressure through a colloid mill as shown in the following figure. So look at this figure. The colloid mill breaks up the asphalt cement and disperses it in the form of very fine droplets in the water carrier. The emulsified asphalt, when used, the emulsion sets as water evaporates. The emulsion usually contains 55 to 75% asphalt cement and up to 3% emulsifying agent, with balance being water. Two most commonly used types of emulsified asphalts are specified in ASTM D977 and ASTM D2397. Anionic electronegatively charged asphalt droplets, cationic electropositively charged asphalt droplets. So anionic emulsions adhere better to aggregate particles with positive surface charges, for example limestone. Cationic emulsions adhere better to aggregate particles with negative surface charges, for example sandstone, quartz, siliceous gravel. Cationic emulsions also work better with wet aggregates and in colder weather. The anionic emulsified asphalts include rapid setting RS, medium setting MS, and slow setting SS as specified in ASTM D977. The cationic emulsified asphalts include rapid setting CRS, medium setting CMS, and slow setting CSS as specified in ASTM D2397. Selection and uses of emulsified asphalts are given in ASTM D3628. Generally, they are used as follows: rapid setting for surface treatments and penetration in macadams; medium setting open graded cold asphalt aggregate mixtures; slow setting tack coat, fog seal, dense graded cold asphalt aggregate mixtures, and slurry seals. Now liquid or cutback asphalt. Liquid asphalts or cutback asphalts are asphalt cements mixed with a solvent to reduce their viscosity to make them easier to use at ordinary temperatures. They are commonly heated and then sprayed on aggregates. Upon evaporation of the solvent, they cure or harden and cement the aggregate particles together. Types and grades are given below are based on the type of solvent, which governs viscosity and the rates of evaporation and curing. So rapid curing RC produced by adding a light diluent of high volatility, generally gasoline or naphtha, to asphalt cement. These are used primarily for tack coat and surface treatments. Specifications for RC type given in ASTM D2028. Medium curing MC produced by adding a medium diluent of intermediate volatility, generally kerosene, to asphalt cement. These are generally used for prime coat, stockpile patching mixtures, and road mixing operations. Specifications for MC type given in ASTM D2027. Slow curing SC produced by adding oils of low volatility, generally diesel or other gas oils, to asphalt cement. They are also called road oils. They are generally used for prime coat, stockpile patching mixtures, and as dust palliatives. Specifications for SC type given in ASTM D2026. Cutback asphalts are commercially available in different grades as shown in the following figure. So you can see here different grades: 30, 70, 250, 800 and 3000, and you can see here naphtha for RC, kerosene for MC, light oil for SC, and this black color that is meant for the asphalt cement, and the fuel viscosity is given at 140 degree Fahrenheit in seconds, and the kinematic viscosity in centistrokes is also given corresponding to different grades of cutbacks. The thinnest and most fluid grade is designated by the suffix number 30, which is available in MC type only. Emulsified asphalts are increasingly being used in lieu of cutback asphalts for the following reasons. Environmental regulations: emulsions are relatively pollution-free. Loss of high energy products: when cutback asphalts cure, the diluents, which are high energy, high price products, are wasted into atmosphere. Safety: emulsions are safe to use. Lower application temperature: emulsions can be applied at relatively low temperatures, saving the fuel cost. Emulsions can also be applied effectively to a damp pavement, whereas dry conditions are required for cutback asphalts. Now we are going to discuss the various properties of asphalts. Following are the properties of asphalt that are of great importance in pavement design and construction: consistency, specific gravity, ductility, purity, flash point, rate of curing, aging or hardening, resistance to reaction with water, durability. So first look at the consistency. Consistency describes the degree of fluidity of asphalt cement at any particular temperature. Consistency of asphalt cement is measured in terms of viscosity and penetration values. Softening point is also measured to determine the temperature at which an asphalt changes its phase from solid to liquid. Viscosity is the measure of the resistance to flow and is the fundamental consistency measurement in absolute units. There are many methods to measure the viscosity. Absolute viscosity in Pascal seconds or poise, and 1 poise is equal to 0.1 Pascal second, measured at 140 degree Fahrenheit as per the ASTM D2171 specifications. Kinematic viscosity in centimeter square per second or stroke. 1 stroke is equal to 100 centistrokes, that is equal to 1 centimeter square per second, measured as per the ASTM D2170 specifications. Kinematic viscosity is equal to absolute viscosity divided by density. The important point is that viscosity decreases, that is, materials become more fluid as temperature increases. A very viscous fluid is very thick, so keep this thing in the mind. Following figure illustrates typical temperature viscosity relationship for asphalts. Grades of asphalt materials and temperatures at which they are used depend to a great extent on their viscosity. Plant temperature for mixing asphalt paving materials are usually specified in terms of viscosity. Temperature limits corresponding to viscosities of 1.5 to 3 centimeter square per second, that's 150 to 300 centistrokes, are sometimes used. For example, the plant temperatures for heating the asphalt A, B, C. So this is the curve for A, this is for B, and this is for C. So in this example, you can see the plant temperatures for heating the asphalts A, B, and C as shown in the figure will respectively be in the following ranges corresponding to viscosities of 150 to 300 centistrokes, 153 degrees centigrade to 167 degrees centigrade, 148 to 163 degrees centigrade, and 137 degrees centigrade to 149 degree centigrade. Penetration. Penetration test ASTM D5 is used to measure the consistency of asphalt empirically, that is indirectly. Penetration is the consistency of asphalt expressed as the distance in tenths of a millimeter that a standard needle penetrates a sample of asphalt vertically under standard conditions of loading of 100 grams, time 5 seconds, and temperature 77 Fahrenheit as shown in the figure below. So you can see here the penetration of this needle. Asphalt cements have an upper limit on penetration value of 300, that is 30 millimeter. Softening point. Softening point is measured by ring and ball method in accordance with ASTM D36 as shown in the following figure. So you are familiar with the softening point determination test. Softening point can simply be defined as the temperature at which asphalt cement cannot support the weight of a steel ball and starts flowing. Specific gravity. Specific gravity and density of asphalt can be determined using the procedure described in ASTM D70. Since the volume of asphalt changes with temperature, With a change from semi-solid to liquid state, the specific gravity of asphalt is expressed at a given temperature, usually at 77 degree Fahrenheit or 60 degree Fahrenheit. Petroleum asphalts have specific gravity value close to unity, that is from 0.95 to 1.05. Specific gravity of asphalt decreases with increasing temperature. For example, asphalt cement has a specific gravity of 1.0176 at a temperature of 10 Fahrenheit, 1 at 60 degree Fahrenheit, and 0.9187 at 300 degree Fahrenheit. A knowledge of specific gravity is essential to determine the percentage of voids in a compacted material. Also, its measurement is required to convert the volume measurement of asphalt to the unit of mass. Then comes ductility. Ductility test is performed on the asphalt cement samples in accordance with ASTM D113. Ductility test measures the distance in centimeters that a standard briquette of asphalt cement will stretch at 5 cm per minute at 77 degree Fahrenheit before breaking, as shown in the following figure. So you can see that this is the ductilometer that we use in the ductility test. Ductility is sometimes used as an indirect gauge of adhesion and cohesion of asphalt. Now, what is adhesion? Adhesion is the ability to stick to aggregate particles in the asphalt concrete. Cohesion is the ability to hold the aggregate particles firmly in place. Purity. Refined asphalt cement consists of almost pure bitumen, which by definition is entirely soluble in carbon disulfide. Only very little amounts of impurities are generally present in refined asphalt cement. To determine the purity of asphalt cement, a solubility test is conducted in accordance with ASTM D2042. Flash point. If asphalt cement is heated to a high enough temperature, it gives off enough vapors to flash, ignite in presence of spark or open flame. Flash point is the temperature below that of the fire point, which is the temperature where a material combusts. Flash point test is conducted in accordance with ASTM D92 to indicate the temperature to which asphalt cement may be safely heated without the danger of instantaneous flash in the presence of an open flame. So this is the point which is highlighting the real significance of the flash point. The rate of curing. The process of evaporation of solvents from cut pack asphalts and the attendant thickening of the material is called curing. Curing can also be described as the change in consistency of an asphalt due to the progressive loss of diluents by evaporation. The rate of curing, or the time required for a cut pack asphalt to harden from its original liquid consistency and develop a consistency that is satisfactory for the function as a binder in pavements, is an important property of cut pack asphalts. The rate of curing is influenced by the following factors: volatility or evaporation rate of the solvent, the amount of solvent, penetration or viscosity of the asphalt base, temperature and humidity of the environment, wind velocity, surface area of the pavement. Aging or hardening. Aging or hardening is the process under which asphalt becomes harder and brittle due to increase in viscosity of asphalt caused by the evaporation and oxidation of lighter, oily constituents during mixing at high temperatures called volatilization, and it is considered as short-term aging or hardening. The oxidation of the oils to resins and resins to asphaltenes when used over a period of years, and this is considered as the long-term or in-service aging or hardening. So here you can see that what is happening with the aging. This is the original bitumen or the asphalt, and this is the aged bitumen that you have got from the rolling thin film oven test. So you can see that at one particular temperature you can see the effect that there is increase in the viscosity when you are having the aged bitumen. Durability of pavement is adversely affected by aging. Resistance to action of water. Asphalt materials designed for pavement should be able to withstand the effects of water. The durability of the pavement is greatly affected by the ability of asphalt to adhere to aggregate particles in the presence of water. Loss of bond in the presence of water may lead to pavement deterioration. Durability. Durability can be defined as the property that permits a pavement material to withstand the detrimental effects of moisture, air, and temperature. The performance and durability of an asphaltic pavement are affected by a number of factors, including mix design, properties of aggregates, workmanship, and the properties of the asphalt. Asphalt pavements fail or crack due to three main causes. Permanent deformation or rutting occurring at high temperatures as the asphalt softens and the mix loses elasticity. Fatigue cracking due to high volume of load applications and aging of the asphalt. Low temperature cracking as asphalt becomes brittle and the pavement shrinks in cold weather. So in this way we have discussed the different types of bituminous materials, and we have discussed the properties of the asphalt. Thank you.